2,000 years ago, it was a brutal instrument of punishment. Today, you'll find it dripping in diamonds, stitched onto oversized hoodies, and completely dominating streetwear. The modern rules for wearing it are entirely contradictory. High-fashion runway designers will eagerly blend pure, angelic aesthetics directly into dark, unsettling, and macabre imagery. 2 millennia of history have made the cross the most recognizable logo on the planet, predating the rise of modern corporate trademarks. For centuries, using sacred garments purely for aesthetic flair was considered strict blasphemy. That rule held until 1980s pop culture deliberately broke it, taking the traditional rosary and weaponizing it into an act of public defiance. Through that defiance, the cross shed its strict religious definition. It became an empty canvas. Modern subcultures can now take this exact same shape and project entirely different meanings onto it. The first major shift happened in 1990s hip-hop with the flex. Rappers turned the religious icon into a heavy, diamond-encrusted trophy, signaling personal survival and newly acquired wealth to the streets. There is a direct psychological link driving this. The Catholic Church has a long, documented history of extreme visual opulence. Hip-hop simply took that established visual language of gold and jewels and applied it to the modern pursuit of status. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the rebellion. Goth and punk subcultures adopted the exact same icon, but they paired it with heavy leather and dark makeup to project chaos and anti-establishment defiance. Modern luxury designers refined this dark aesthetic into the monastic silhouette. They use long, draping robes and oversized blazers to mirror ancient monks, reflecting the anxiety of a chaotic, unpredictable world. Despite their extreme visual differences, both the rapper and the goth are doing the exact same thing. They are using the cross as a psychological shield. One uses it to project material triumph to the world, while the other uses it to defend against existential angst. Recently, a new wave countered that loud, diamond-heavy era. This is the lifestyle approach, a push toward minimalist, earth-toned streetwear, where a plain, unbranded hoodie serves as the ultimate luxury flex. Instead of enforcing strict dogma, modern fashion brands package religion as a calm, elevated lifestyle. You see this when traditional choral robes are completely replaced by carefully layered streetwear. But if you travel outside Western markets, you hit the post-contextual void. In global fashion districts, the symbol has been stripped entirely of its Christian origins. It is worn purely as an edgy Western accessory. Trace the vertical and horizontal lines of a cross, and you find a symmetrical shape perfectly centered for garments. But multiply this into a repeating grid, and its history vanishes. The algorithm turns a symbol of sacrifice into visual texture, neutralizing its meaning. Naturally, this brings theological pushback. Critics point out that streetwear commits cultural appropriation, taking a painful history of sacrifice and reducing it to a cheap, desensitized accessory for mass consumption. But controversy is highly profitable. Brands actively manufacture internet outrage by mixing divine imagery with provocative taboos, knowing that anger is the fastest way to drive marketing engagement. That viral outrage inevitably leads to mass saturation. Fast fashion factories aggressively copy these high-end concepts, flooding the market until the symbol loses all of this remaining shock value. Hype culture processes everything, even the divine, through a hyper-capitalist machine. The shopping mall operates as the modern temple, and the highly anticipated product drop serves as the new liturgy. So, does the cross survive this fast fashion cycle, or will it eventually end up discarded in a landfill like every other streetwear fad? It survives because of the talisman effect. People still crave an underlying sense of psychological protection. Whether they sit in a church pew or walk down everyday streets, they naturally gravitate toward objects that offer comfort. The icon remains relevant through constant aesthetic shifts, moving from 14th century cathedral glass to 21st century silver, without losing its core silhouette or its cultural weight. The sacred and the hype now occupy the same space. The object itself remains neutral until an individual picks it up, puts it on, and projects their own story on